All right, Andy, last but not least, what should distributors do to take advantage of this upturn?
Great, and the good news is I don't have any slides. So I get the opportunity to travel around the world on a far too regular of a basis. Have spent 15 days out of the last 30 going through Europe and the Middle East. And we're seeing investments across the board from a distributor point of view. I would start off by saying that you hear a lot of doom and gloom on the news, and every one of the slides you just saw showed all the industries going up except for residential construction. So I always take a pause and say, why is everything so negative? I mean, you watch the news and you walk away from the news completely depressed about what's going on in the US. Now, I happen to get the opportunity to watch the news around the world, and it's far different. So what we're seeing a lot of our distributors doing is they're under pressure from a global perspective and investing a lot in expansion into faster growing environments. So if you're happy at growing slightly faster than Europe, which is our prediction here, then continue the legislation, the taxes, and everything that's going on here. And we'll grow at 3% a year, and I'll be happy. As it happens, China and the rest of the world is growing at 9%. So we're seeing a lot of pressure on our customers looking at how do I move into faster growing markets? How do I get tighter into my supply chain so I have more confidence about being more nimble in the US? And that is driving investments both domestically and then globally. Distribution, the logistics component of distribution is not necessarily high margin, but interactions with customers are. So we're seeing our distributors putting investments in being more nimble from a logistics standpoint, but putting huge investments in making my sales team smarter. So that shows its face in customer stratification and how do I put an iPad with the latest technology in front of my sales team so when they show up, the customer gets the experience they expect, the same experience they expect when they go into Amazon. So why is it that customers go online, you go home after work and you shop in an environment, you go online, you order what you want from Amazon, it shows you your 5 products, it shows you your shopping history, but from a business perspective, we don't have those same expectations. So we're seeing kind of the leading edge distributors put a lot of weight into enabling my sales team to walk into the door, to know historical buying patterns, to know margin for items that they should be buying, that their competitors are buying, that the industry is pushing, and giving my sales guy the ability to upsell, just like you would expect when you go onto the internet. So we're seeing as the market comes back to life, and even in industries where the market is not back to life, all of our customers are looking at higher margin opportunities in the industries they serve. So that can be kitting, light manufacturing, pushing things onto the internet, expanding my reach. So if from a logistics point of view, if I can ship things with a day's notice or quicker from my warehousing systems, why should I limit myself to West Virginia? Why don't I expand my horizons and make myself through the internet, through a global internet, to expand my horizons, expand my opportunities. And that's really where we're seeing a lot of activity from distributors in general, but electrical specifically is pushing us. So we're seeing of the industries we serve, electrical is hot. And they're making investments not only back in ERPs where we serve, but also in newer technologies and getting myself onto the internet and investing in my sales force to make them more productive. And then we see the change globally. So how does that impact the global nature of what we've seen from an economic point of view? Where are the markets going to be hot and how can I capitalize on that? So if I enable my sales teams, what prevents me from partnering with companies? I saw the attendee list. There's people here from Bogota, Colombia, which I've spent a lot of time in. I've been there probably 6 or 7 times in the last 18 months. I saw folks from other parts of the world. How can I use my technology to partner up with people in other countries? And how can I leverage myself globally by expanding relationships with people in this room? The technology to do that has to be nimble and it has to be internet-based. So that's where we're seeing a lot of our activity at the moment.
Thank you. Instead of asking you a question, I think I'm going to go to the audience first, see what kind of questions. We have about 5 minutes to take questions from the audience. So we have microphones, so if anybody has a question for the panelists. If not, I have questions, but it's not about me. So anybody? Okay. Then I will ask you a question. How's that? You mentioned global, and yesterday we had a speaker that spoke a lot about the trends from a global perspective facing us as a world, not just this industry. But if you were a distributor facing the globalization of certain markets, what do you think are the two to three biggest challenges that distributors need to confront or deal with when facing this type of challenge?
The first one is it's not a market you can stick your toe in. You can't go, throw a couple guys in Europe and say, hey, I'm in Europe or I'm in the Middle East. TJ and I have had the opportunity among many cities to spend some time in Dubai and Abu Dhabi in the last few weeks. And we're seeing a lot of our European customers starting up presence in those countries, but you have to make a big commitment. The second is understanding the dynamics of logistics and how the European states operate, and the same applies globally. It would be as if you were in the United States and had 50 different states you had to serve, all with different legislation, all with different requirements, all with different customs, with different holidays, work schedules. So you really have to look at it as a large market opportunity, but you have to tackle it at a country level. And the third is you simply have to be nimble. So working capital is tight. So where do I put my warehouses? How do I link up with logistics operations? For example, Rockwell, I was over in Europe, have outsourced their whole logistics component of their operations to DHL. So DHL runs their warehouse, does the whole logistics component. You probably don't see that here, but that's in fact what's happening behind the scenes. So if I do enter Europe, what are the different opportunities I can take advantage of that are in place? And some of that is bringing my market and my name and partnering with companies, but using outsourced public warehouses and logistics providers to do the logistics component.
Thank you.